We're going to start with the combinations and permutations homework. All right, this fell onto two different book pages, so they're two different screenshots. You had to do 3 through 13 odds and 23 through 26 on the first page, and then just 45 on the next page. All right, so I'll just start with number 3. 3 is 5 factorial. You could have wrote this out as 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 and done it that way. Or you could just go into your calculator if you hit math, and you go over to PRB, probability, and choice 4, that is the exclamation point, which is the factorial symbol, and it will just tell you that it is 120. Number 5 is 8 factorial divided by 3 factorial. Okay, now there are a couple ways to do this. You could just put this in your calculator and that's fine, but I just want to point out the fact that if you write this out, so I write out 8 factorial and I write out 3 factorial, notice some of this stuff is going to cancel. So really 8 factorial divided by 3 factorial is just this part, 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4, which will be 6,720. Either way you did it though, if you just put it in your calculator, you get the same answer. Number 7, you do the same way, 10 factorial over 3 factorial. You could put it in your calculator, but I'm going to write this out just so we all see it. All right, 1s will cancel, 2s will cancel, 3s will cancel. So I'm just left with 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4, which should give you 604,800. All right, moving on. Number 9 is 8p4. This you have to do in your calculator, so you're going to hit 8, then go back under math and go to the PRB menu where the factorial symbol was. You hit P, then you hit 4, and you should get 1,680. Number 11 is 5p2, so 5p2 in your calculator should give you 20. And for 13, that's 12, choose 7. So 12, go back in there, choice 3 is your choose 7, and you should get 792. Okay, so easy, really just putting stuff into your calculator. I'm going to erase this stuff. And we're doing 23 through 26. So the first row down here, this is asking for all the different number of arrangements. Remember, arrangements means order matters. So that means we're going to do a permutation. Okay, so for number 23, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters in the word factor, and I want to permute all of them. And I don't have any repeats in the word factor. No, none of the letters repeat, so this is just going to be 6p6, which would be 720. For number 4, divide has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in it, so that's going to be 6p6. But here I have some repeats. I've got 2 D's, so that's going to be 2 factorial in my denominator. And then I also have 2 I's, so that's another 2 factorial in my denominator. So if we do 6p6, I know from the class problem that that's 720. And 2 factorial over 2 factorial is 4. So we're really doing 720 divided by 4, which is 180. Right? Number 25, we have the word exceed. Exceed has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters in it, so 6p6. And then E happens 1, 2, 3 times, so that's going to be 3 factorial in my denominator. And that's the only thing that repeats. So this is going to be 720, and 3 factorial is 6. So 720 divided by 6 will give you 120. And last but certainly not least is the word abscissa. Okay, abscissa is actually a very fancy word for the x value of a coordinate. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8p8. And I've got 1, 2a, so there's going to be a 2 factorial in my denominator. And then I've got 1, 2, 3 s's, so that will be a 3 factorial in my denominator. And that covers everything. So we can figure out 8p8. And that is going to be 40,320. And then 2 factorial times 3 factorial is going to give you 12. So I'm going to do 40,320 divided by 12, and you get 3,360. So just plugging and chugging into your calculator. Now on the second screen for permutations and combinations, you had to do number 45. Okay, so this isn't just, you actually have to figure out if you're doing a permutation or a combination. It says, at the library, Jordan selects 8 books that he would like to read, but he decides to check out just 5 of them. How many different selections can he make? So think about this. If you go to the library and there are 8 books that you like, and you just want to take 5 of them, does it matter if you pick, I don't know, let's say we've got To Kill a Mockingbird and what's another book that you guys read? Macbeth. To Kill a Mockingbird and Macbeth. Does it matter if you pick To Kill a Mockingbird first and Macbeth second, or if you pick Macbeth first and To Kill a Mockingbird second? It doesn't matter. You're still taking those 2 books home. So this is going to be a combination. So this is going to be 8C5, which we will put in our calculators, and this will be 56. There are 56 different selections that he can make. And just a little bit of review, you had to do another triangle problem. All right, this screenshot was back under Unit 7. We did it a while ago, so you might need to go find it, or if not, here it is. And you have to do question 19. So we have triangle PQR. So here's a little p, here's a little q, here's a little r. It says that little p is 12. Little q is 16, and little r is 20. And we want to find the other 3 parts of this triangle. Well, I already know all 3 sides, so here I have to find my angles. In this case, we can't use the law of sines. We automatically have to go to the law of cosines. The law of sines requires that you know at least one angle. We don't know any. But I do know all of my sides, so I can use the law of cosines. I'm going to pick r first, just because I can. It doesn't matter. So if I'm finding angle R, I'm going to have little r alone on the other side. So this is going to be 20 squared is equal to 16 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 16 times 12 times the cosine of big R. So 20 squared will give me 400. 16 squared is 256. 12 squared is 144. Then I've got 2 times 16 times 12, which will give me 384 cosine R. If you want, you can combine 256 and 144. That is going to give you 400. So 400 equals 400 minus 384 cosine R. You can subtract 400 from both sides, okay? You cannot combine this 400 and the 384. They're separate, okay? So I'll subtract 400 from both sides, and I get 0 is equal to negative 384 cosine R. Divide both sides by negative 384, and you get that 0 is equal to the cosine of R. You're almost done. You have to do the inverse cosine of both sides, and the inverse cosine of 0 is 90. Okay, now 90 does not have a reference angle. It is a quadrantal. So in this case, we only have one possible triangle, and R is going to be 90. And now, to find the other 2 angles, we could do the law of cosines all over again, or we could use the law of sines. Because now I know that the sine of R over R has to equal the sine of, you can do P or Q, I'll do Q first, does not matter. So this is the sine of 90 over 20 will be equal to the sine of q over 16. So 16 sine 90 is equal to 20 sine q. Now I'm gonna have to erase some of this down here. Now you can put this in your calculator and it'll do it for you, no problem. But we should be able to recognize that the sine of 90 is 1. All right, go back to your unit circle. I'm up here at 90 degrees. This is the point 0, 1, and sines are my y-coordinates. So then 16 over 20 is equal to the sine of q. And then I'll do the inverse sine of both sides. So inverse sine of 16 divided by 20 is going to give me, I'm rounding to the nearest degree, so 53 degrees. So here will be a 53. And then to find p, I can just do 180 minus 90 minus 53, which is 37. And that is it. We are done. Boop, boop.